Oh, you know what time it is. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Wow, we're so coordinated and so cute. This is a fun first date. Are you having fun? Great. It's my first time to Latrobe. It looks absolutely gorgeous. There's a huge picture of Mr. Rogers over there, who, of course, is famous. And then look at this beautiful view. Can we pan over here? This is unbelievable. It's kind of the calm before the quarterback storm, before the backers on backers action that's been going on. A tough camp run by Mike Tomlin for the bajillionth year in a row. But now they got Patrick Queen, baby. They plucked the division rival. Who's starting week 1? Who's starting week 2 against the Broncos? It's got to be Russ, right? You don't know? Tell me. All right, let's drive away. And let's, hopefully not fall off. But I would like that check from the Steelers. Let's go. Woo! Okay, here with Coach Tomlin off of a Friday Night Lights. I'm reading a lot about how coaches are sleeping more. Sean McVay says he's getting over 7 a night. How much sleep are you getting, Tomlin?
I'm a little older than Sean in that group, and so I grew up during the time where we probably worked more hours. We were waiting for videotape, and technology has made our job easier over the years. So I've kind of established some habits as a young guy that is hard for me to break, and sleep is one of them. I don't need much.
Well, you're very youthful, effervescent. You're smiling ear to ear out there during these crazy drills. I just talked to TJ Watt, and I said, literally ear to ear, laughing. You were giddy at this, and he said you're sick. What is your response to that?
That's tough to disagree with. We got to be methodical in our approach to team building, and sometimes, we got to create a little misery in the process, and that's kind of done by me. And and I can see the big picture.
Ouch.
I can see the big picture. It's done with a purpose, and I just like watching them go through it.
What do you love about it?
Just the growth associated with it, watching competitors compete, watching people get better at skills relative to what they do. It's just a fun process in terms of growing individually and collectively.
I'm so appreciative of your time. I was sort of tired this morning, and you just walked in, and the energy is completely shifted. I'm happier. You really bring it. And I wonder how much it has to do with this place, because this is your 16th time rolling into camp. Take me to when you're making that turn in, and what happens to you at this is your sanctuary.
I just love the simplicity of it, to be quite honest with you. There's a fresh energy here. We come here for one reason and one reason only, for growth and development, for football. And, you kind of leave other components of life aside. And it allows you to focus. And it's just so quiet up here, particularly in the morning when a lot of the daily planning happens. It's just really an awesome environment in that way.
A couple of players told me there's some tents, there's some snacks. You might grab a Mountain Dew or two, I heard. They're hard to. We tried finding you a freaking Mountain Dew here all morning, and I couldn't find one. But what are those moments like when everything's done and the players sort of get to chill and hang out?
I think that's one of the advantages of a destination camp. We in this game realize that team is a component of football, and so, we're trying to capture that which we cannot measure. And you do that by spending informal time together, hearing each other's life journeys, getting to know and appreciate and respect one another. It all aids us in getting out of stadiums with victories. And so we got formal work to do, classroom work, grass work, but it's also some work to do in terms of coming together as men.
Patrick Queen. Just please get the close-up of that. Tell me about Patrick Queen. I saw him scrapping it up with Najee yesterday. I know he wants to get after Warren. I've heard it all.
I love PQ, man. It's like he was drafted here, man. He is a Steeler.
Oof.
He loves to compete. He comes ready. He's highly conditioned. He's an unbelievable competitor. He's got a good feel for the game. He's doing a really good job of being a hub of communication for us defensively as a new guy. We employed him to be our defensive quarterback, and so it's added responsibilities other than playmaking that come with that, man, and he just really seems open to it.
It's incredible because I read that quote about you saying he's your quarterback. I'm like, you have a Minka. You have a TJ. What the hell do you need? Like, what, if he's the quarterback, what are they? And then TJ told me he doesn't want anything to do with that green dot.
The guy on the second level, a guy that's able to communicate with those in front of him, like TJ and Cam, a guy that's able to communicate with those behind him, it is a component of the job. And so, yeah, he's a green dot, and I call that defensive quarterback, and he's adjusting to it great.
Are you happier that he's a Steeler, or are you happier that he's not a Raven?
Man, that's a difficult question. Man, I see the benefit in both. I see the benefit
Tomlin,
in both.
We were so happy. Are you having a great camp? What's this I hear about this being one of the toughest, most intense camps when I'm looking at this happy, giddy players coach over here?
This is not a tough camp. That's just dirty rumors.
Really?
No, we got work to get done. But it's okay to have fun while you do it. Football is our game. Our business is winning. We understand that. We're trying to position ourselves to handle business while at the same time appreciating the game that we all love. What's
one thing that you're really excited about outside of the, the backers on backs on backers situation? Outside of that, what's a position group that's got you juiced?
I like the offensive line. We've invested a lot in the offensive line in recent years via the draft. They're young guys, but they're talented. They're going to have to grow up and grow up quickly. And so I just love being a part of that process with a group.
Training camp fights, we're here for them. We love them. We're encouraging them.
Absolutely not.
Oh.
No, I understand we need tough guys in this business, but, we're not putting together an MMA team. It doesn't help us win games. We get penalized. We get kicked out of games. And so when they do occur out here, I understand it, while at the same time it's a growth opportunity. We got to eliminate that from our competitive spirit as we step into stadiums.
You're saying that it's not a really tough camp, but it is. A lot of teams have taken out full-on tackling. You're like, no, I'm going to double down on that shit. I want that. Why?
It's tough to box without sparring, as I say. It also aids in the evaluation process. We try to get to know a lot of guys. We got 90 guys here. We got to go to 53 at some point. And so I don't want to speculate in terms of certain elements of play. And so playing football helps us evaluate. It helps them state a case for themselves in terms of some things that are really a component of the game. The ability to break tackles, elude tacklers, to make tackles. And so we don't run from that.
I love that. Arthur Smith, he's here, you're here. You've gotten to bond, I'm sure, over these days in Latrobe. What's one thing you've sort of learned about him even in this time?
He likes to talk a little trash.
Like what?
And that's pretty good. He loves going after Patrick Queen and Elandon Roberts, and they love going after him. And it's great. It stokes the competitive fire within this environment, and that's something that's new and interesting about him that I've learned.
What day of camp is this for you now? Do you even know?
I don't count.
You don't know? I knew you were going to know.
I don't even know what day of the week it is, to be honest with you. What day of the week
I love it. Well, whatever. On whatever day this is, you've got a bit of a quarterback competition going on. Just, obviously Russell has the injury. Outside of the injury, on this day, somebody's got to be winning every day. Who's winning today?
I think I've been pretty consistent in my position there. I've characterized it as pole position for Russell. And the reason I have is certainly they're competing, but I don't overly concern ourselves with being fair. There's no such thing as 50-50. And so we just pay respect to the totality of his resume and his experience. We lean on it. We allow him to lead the group informally in terms of some of the things that he's done to produce the type of career he has. This growth opportunity for Justin in that. Justin has absorbed a lot of responsibility since coming into the league. It's probably a great opportunity for him to work alongside day-to-day somebody at his position that's done it longer and done it at a high level. But rest assured, both guys are going to be given an opportunity to show their skills over the course of the next month, and I'm excited about watching them sort themselves out.
And we'll see week 2 against Broncos. We'll see if it's Russell Wilson. Justin Fields I'm really excited for. I'm hoping that he's making and taking advantage of every opportunity. I'm from Chicago. I cheered for him when he was there. Is there something that you find yourself telling him over and over again, whether it's a good thing, something to work on every day?
I guess the big thing, the message that informally, formally, whatever you want to call it, that I want to continue to relay to him is I don't want to squash his natural instincts. His mobility and escapability is a weapon, and we don't want to minimize that. We don't want him overthinking. We want him to play fast and fluid. And so, if anything, that from a messaging standpoint, I've probably mentioned that to him a few times. He's new to the environment. I don't want him to overanalyze what we might be thinking. I want him to do what comes natural as it pertains to his game.
I'm on a 19-day training camp tour. I'm on like day 7. You are the end of my William and Mary part of the tour. I was just with Dan Quinn, who was a coach. You were the wide receiver back in 1994. I was also, Joe Brady went there, but way after. And I was just with Sean McDermott as well. Take me back to 1994.
Yep.
Who was the most likely to be an NFL coach at that time, if you had to pick? Out of the 3 of you,
it definitively wasn't me. I was having too much. I was having too much fun. I would have said McD.
Yeah.
You know, Sean hadn't changed at all, man. He was a 40-year-old man. You know, then he brought a seriousness to his business that's not surprising that he's doing what it is he's doing.
And as far as who would be the least likely to coach, you would say yourself back in '94.
If you would have posed us then, certainly, yeah. Yeah.
We want to ask you about Madden. I don't play. I know you were involved in the whole kickoff part of it. T.J. Watt seemed juiced about it. Why did you want to do that?
What, the kickoff play?
Yeah.
Just in an effort to save the play. You know, we have information at our disposal now about space and speed. And, you know, obviously player safety has been a big-time initiative over the last decade or so. And so it's an opportunity to reduce the space and speed and make it a safer play while still keeping the play in the game.
Okay, love seeing that. Jason Kidd was here. What's the connection?
Man, we're just a couple of guys that love coaching, man. And, you know, the cool thing about the basketball guys, I've had a lot of basketball guys here over the years. I love learning from their environments. They appreciate ours. I love the intimacy of basketball, the fluidity of schedule, the things that small groups allot for, and I try to infuse that into our environment. And oftentimes they tell us they love the regiment, the structure of our environment. And so for me, it's different yet the same. We all have leadership challenges, and it's just good to learn from the differing sport cultures.
Mark Cuban set that up. I'm trying to think of what's the connection with Jason Kidd.
No, just, you know, in the coaching world.
Yeah, love that. I'm trying to think of anything else you want to talk about. Get out there. I love from a leadership perspective. There's the usual suspects. I'm looking at TJ. I'm looking at Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, of course. Is there somebody that's going to help lead this team that I need to know about that maybe doesn't get talked about enough?
You know, we got 2 young emerging leaders in Najee Harris and Pat Freiermuth, you know, and we buy into that. You know, those guys are going into year 4 now. We drafted those guys, and they've been good players. They've grown up here, and we like to cultivate and develop leaders. And so I'm always excited about being a part of people's growth process. People see Cam Hayward as an awesome leader, and he is, but I've been here long enough to have had a ringside seat to watch that develop and grow, and that's a cool thing to be a component of.
You're a cool thing to be a component of. We appreciate your time. I know you're so busy. Enjoy your home, your sanctuary, beautiful Latrobe here on a beautiful day with all these fans.
Thank you.
Listen, you're probably not the first player to sign a baby, but you are the first one to lead the league in sacks 3 different times. You know the Strahan record, 22.5. I got to ask you, Cam Hayward's here. That was back in 2021. How mad are you at him for that half sack that he got on Tannehill?
Oh, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. We go back and forth. We always say we can't send in our sacks for review if it's against one of our own guys. But I have to admit, Cam, I sent that one in to get reviewed, and I got denied.
Yeah, you got Strahan's record, of course, and then you have your brother's 18.5. Which one do you want more?
Honestly, the individual stuff, I know it sounds cliche, but it's all in the past. It's all about trying to first and foremost win the playoff game. Those people that have followed me know that at this point in my career, all I want to do is get to the playoffs and win a playoff game and take it one game at a time.
It looks real on video that I've seen. My first time to Latrobe. It seems very chippy, high intensity at 100. Is this the most intense camp you've been a part of here in Latrobe?
It's definitely been the most intense in recent years that I can remember, just because we have so many new guys. We have, especially at key positions. I mean, you got Patrick Queen inside, Deshaun Elliott in the back end too, and then obviously the new first-round pick at right tackle, some young other offensive linemen, and those running backs are very chippy as well. So you saw last night in backs on backers, guys are getting after it, and we'd much rather say whoa than sick 'em.
Tej, when I was talking to people about that last night and how it happens, every other day, everyone's saying you just have to watch Tomlin's face. as it's happening, and he's giddy. It's like the one time you really see him smiling ear to ear. Why is that? It's
a little sick. He likes to see guys run into each other at full speed, but that's what we're about here. It's about who's going to compete and who's going to turn away.
JJ said he felt the itch. I got to ask you about this because we've talked to some of the Texans about leaving the door open. We had Nick Caserio say, "I'm just going to leave that between D'Amico Ryan." Is there any window for your big bro to come back?
You'd have to ask him that, but I know that he's staying in shape. We talked again last night. I'm always sending him film. He's always wanting to see film, and he's always trying to correct me and help me become a better pass rusher and stuff. So he definitely is still interested. I don't know how real all of that conversation is. You'd have to have that with him, but who knows?
That sounded like a very BS answer. That's fair. I brushed past it, but he's coming back. Sounds like.
We'll see. I don't know. He's still in great shape.
Oh, and that's the headline we wanted and needed. You got a quarterback competition to brew and a little bit of an injury with Russell Wilson. One of them is going to have the job, maybe both of them at certain points of the season. As of right now, and this can change. We were just talking about a temperature check right now. Who's giving you more hell?
I mean, they both are. I'm not going to give you that headline right now. I think they both have things that they both excel at very much. They're both mobile, which is a challenge in general. And, just watch practice, and they both command the huddle when they're in there. So it's going to be a tough decision, and I'm glad I'm not the one making it. One
thing that you will tell me about, I'm sure, because I know that you're a gamer, what was your reaction when you heard that your coach, Mike Tomlin, was helping the developers of Madden NFL 25 with the whole kickoff format?
I wasn't surprised. And Mike T's always trying to find a way to gain an advantage, and I don't know if he's actually played the game or if he's watched people play the game or his sons, but not surprised at all.
Is he a player's coach?
Yes.
What does that mean?
The definition of it. He relates to every single guy, no matter where you're from, no matter what your background is. He cares about the person, not just the player. And when he walks in the room, he commands the huddle. He listens to his veterans. Just a phenomenal guy and an awesome coach.
I like that you mentioned leadership. It's super important. I mean, Cam Hayward, obviously he's in camp. That's great. You have a bunch of leaders on this team, but you want to look at the quarterback position and say, that guy can command the huddle, can do it all. Russell Wilson comes into the building. He's new. What is one leadership quality that you're like, I'm going to write this down in my journal, my notebook. If I was to have a sign on my locker from something that I've seen out of Russell Wilson as far as a leadership quality, what is it?
I'd say consistency, honestly. When a guy like that comes in the building, he's kind of this bigger-than-life character, and then when you see him come in the building, you don't know what you've seen online, if that's real. And when he's come in the building, he's been so consistent with his work, with his positivity. He hasn't gotten too high, he hasn't gotten too low, and that's what you want to see.
Why is your coach saying that he needs a quarterback of the defense? What, Minka and you aren't enough? What does that even mean?
I tried having the green dot for one game, I think in 2018. It was a miserable experience.
Why?
It's so hard to have the green dot and hear the coach give you the play and have to tell everybody else while you're kind of trying to figure out what you're trying to do on that specific play. So he's always wanted an inside linebacker to have the green dot, and I think P. Queen has done a great job of it. I don't know if he did it in Baltimore or not, but it allows Minka to be in the back end and just play free, not have to worry about too much. Obviously myself in the front end, and P. Queen has done a great job. He's a fast, physical linebacker, and he's been showing some incredible flashes.
You don't want any of that responsibility. You just want to what?
Yeah, I just want to hear the play call. I want to line up, and I want to play fast.
I don't remember that game. Tell me, 2018?
It was against the Patriots.
You're I remember it
Yeah, it was
well.
like the first game. Yeah, it was tough.
Really?
Yes.
So you give a lot of credit to those guys wearing the green dot.
100%, because you have to be able to hear the call, get the call, and sometimes in the call they're like, and then tell this guy don't get beat to the flat. So now I'm like trying to tell that guy, well, the huddle's broken, and too much for me.
I was watching Netflix Receiver. They need to make one at your position, of course, but I loved watching. There's an episode where Devontae Adams and Justin Jefferson, they obviously don't face each other, but when they're on the bench, they're just watching each other, and they're motivated by each other. I was with Calvin Johnson and Randy Moss, same thing. They're like, I used to watch your stats. I'd look them up in the newspaper, just to see what you got. When you're playing guys like Minka, when you're playing guys like Max, and you have them on the docket this year, what does that do to you?
It's just more fun to see how they attack the guys that you've been attacking all year in practice. You know what I mean? So because when we go at each other all year long, especially starting from training camp, is I have my moves that I feel like I can beat these guys, and I know their strengths and their weaknesses, but then you like to see a guy that's an all-pro guy or a Pro Bowl guy go against these guys, and you want to see what kind of tactics they have, and then I'll go back and watch the film and see how well they fared and how well they didn't.
Last one for you, and you skirted around the quarterback competition, so you have to answer this one. Let's say it's 18.5 you're about to hit. Let's say it's the 22.5 you're about to get that full sack on a quarterback. In your dream world, who is that quarterback? Name a quarterback.
See, that's tough because I can't say the next one. Hopefully it's a divisional quarterback. I'll just say that.
Okay, let's narrow it down. You're going to get them all. So which one? What would mean a little more to you for it to be that one? Maybe not even that, but who would you like it to be? You sack them, you run to the sideline.
Baltimore or Cincinnati.
Great answer and very media savvy and very PR prepared. TJ Watt coming to sack a rival quarterback. Joe Burrow, probably you, after these preseason games and another tough practice here in Latrobe. Anything else you want to talk about?
No, I'm good. I'm ready to get some lunch.
You're good? Thank you so much. We'll be back after this with Mike Tomlin. What should I ask him?
It's a good question. Ask him why he's always. So this is a good one.
All right.
So Mike T's always like sometimes like especially when I was younger, he's like always cool. Like so you'd be outside a meeting room and like team meeting and he'd be super cool. Like how's the family? You doing good? Like you adjusting well? Yeah. You think you're really cool and you go in front of the team meeting and then he puts up like a clip and it's like what the hell are you doing on this play? And it's like, wait, we were just super cool outside. Why didn't you give me a heads up? You're about to castrate me in front of the whole team.
Wait, so is it like
ask him about some of those.
If he says something nice to you, you're like, oh shit, what's coming?
Yeah, because you never know. Like especially before a team meeting.
He's a Sour Patch Kid.
Yeah,
first he's sour, then he's sweet.
Because I'm out there. Yeah, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a cool team meeting. We just had a great talk, and then like, bam, what the hell is going on here? I'm like, wow, you could have told me.
That's how he gets the best out of you.
Exactly.
All right, I love that. Thanks, Teach.